The brothers of Yusuf alayhi salam, they break the news to their father that Binyamin stole the king's goblet in Egypt and he now has been imprisoned. He has been enslaved as a punishment for that crime. Yaqub alayhi salam was so grief-stricken that the Qur'an tells us that he ends up losing his sight. وَبْيَضَّتْ عَيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْحُزْنِ, that his eyes became glazed, he was not able to see. And essentially, he blames his sons, saying to them the same statement that he said over 2 decades ago when they came to him and they said that Yusuf has been eaten by a wolf. قال بل سولت لكم أنفسكم أمرا. Your souls have deceived you. You have behaved foolishly. And we spoke about what Yaqub meant by that last night. Yaqub alayhi salam, he spends the next few weeks grieving in solitude. And the Qur'an tells us in ayah 87 that he instructs his sons to go back to Egypt a third time. Ayah 87, يَا بَنِي يَذْهَبُوا فَتَحَسَّسُوا مِنْ يُوسُفَ وَأَخِيهِ. O my sons, go back to Egypt and actively search for Yusuf. And search also for his brother. Search for both of them. And don't despair of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The narrations tell us that Yaqub alayhi salam, as his sons are prepared, they're preparing to go back to Egypt, he gives them a letter that he wants them to deliver to the minister. Again, Yaqub is addressing the Aziz, but he doesn't know that this letter will be received by his son Yusuf. So the brothers, 9 of them, because we said 2 of them remained in Egypt, Binyamin, and the eldest brother stayed back. He self-exiled. So the 9 brothers, they set forth on their journey and they travel for nearly 2 weeks until they arrive in Egypt. Ayah 88 of Surah Yusuf, فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ, when they entered upon Yusuf. Again, the brothers still have not recognized that it is Yusuf. قالوا يا أيها العزيز مسنا وأهلنا الضر. O Aziz, Your Excellency, hard times have come upon us and our family. وَجِئْنَا بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ. It's still in the middle of the famine. They say, O Aziz, speaking unknowingly that they're speaking to their own brother Yusuf, they say that hard times have fallen upon us and our families, and we have brought with us some goods to barter. بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ, meaning low quality merchandise. We don't have anything of value to barter. We've brought whatever we could gather. فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلِ. We beg you to give us our full ration. وَتَصَدَّقْ عَلَيْنَا. and be charitable to us. Now, some of the mufassirin, they say that they're not asking for charity here. They're saying that give us our full ration and be charitable to us by releasing our brother Binyamin. وَتَصَدَّقْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَجْزِي الْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ. Be charitable to us. Release our brother Binyamin, for God rewards people who are charitable. And then they say, we have a letter for you from our father. The father who we told you about, who is a sheikh, he's an elder. He's the father of this Binyamin. They give Yusuf alayhi salam the letter. I want to read this letter for you, and I'll just read it in English for the sake of time. This letter is mentioned in Bihar al-Anwar and Majma' al-Bayan. And the content of this letter goes as follows. The letter begins with the praise of God. It begins with salam to the minister. And then Yaqub says in the letter, and all of the brothers are watching Yusuf as he's reading this letter. What does the letter say? The letter says, we are a family upon whom God has always sent tribulation to try us in thick and thin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has always tested our family with difficulties. My grandfather, Ibrahim, was thrown into the fire by Namrud because of his obedience to the Lord. Why was Ibrahim thrown into the fire? Because he was an unapologetic monotheist. And as a result, God made the fire cool and peaceful for him. God also commanded my grandfather to slaughter my uncle Ismail, but then replaced him with a ram. He's giving Yusuf, he's giving the minister the family's history. And then he says, for the last 20 years, tribulations have rained down upon me. The first was that I had a son whom I called Yusuf. He was my joy and the light of my eyes. His half-brothers asked me to let him go with them to play. So I sent him with them in the morning, and they returned to me in the evening, weeping. They brought me his tunic, splattered with fraudulent sheep's blood, and claimed that a wolf had eaten him. My grief for his loss was immense. You can imagine Yusuf reading this letter. He sees the handwriting of his father. My grief for his loss was immense, and my weeping for his separation was intense, so much that it blotted out my vision. I've lost my eyesight. This Yusuf had a brother with whom I was pleased, a reference to Binyamin. He was my comfort. Whenever I missed Yusuf, I would hug this brother of his to my chest, and that would mitigate some of my grief. Because Yusuf and Binyamin, they had the same mother, they were full